We're here at the venue for the World Coffee Conference, which is at Palace Grounds, and we're just entering the competition arena.
Proud moment for India here to be having the World Coffee Conference and the first South Indian Filter Coffee World Championship.
So that's our first contestant for the day. If I compare it to all the three cups that we tasted before this was leaps and shoulders above that.
Then fantastic.
Yeah.
What would you want to rate?
So I would still rate it a 4.5. It's refreshing, and I'm getting the coffee only at the very back.
Nice cold brew style coffee that he has made.
ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಭಾಳ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇತ್ತು ಲೆಮನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಫಿ. ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತು ಲೆಮನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಓವರ್ ಪಾರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Hi folks, today is a very unusual day here in Bengaluru. There's hardly any traffic on the road because there's a bandh today. So most commercial establishments, even as I look around, are closed. I'm on my way to a very unique event, and this is called the World Coffee Conference. So I'm told this is an international conference that happens every year, and it's the first time that the conference is happening in Asia, and that too in India, here in Bengaluru. So I think it's a matter of great pride that a prestigious conference like this is happening in Bengaluru, because after all, Karnataka is the state for coffee here in India. So there are delegates from many countries all over the world who are participating in this conference. The World Coffee community is now focusing on India. So I'm on my way to the conference to judge the first ever filter coffee championship. Can you imagine? On a global stage, our filter coffee is getting recognized. I mean, you can travel anywhere you want across the world. You can drink all the fancy coffees that you want, the cappuccinos, the flat whites, the lattes. But to me personally, nothing hits home on the flavor quotient like a good South Indian filter coffee. And it's heartening to know that the World Coffee Conference has also now included a filter coffee competition as part of their program. For those of you who follow Gourmet on the Road, you know that we have interacted with Rohan Bopanna, tennis legend, someone who's done Karnataka, India so proud on the tennis stage. A few weeks ago, also speaking of his role as the ambassador for the World Coffee Conference.
Sugar separate. Coffee ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ರೆ sugar ಬೇಡ.
I completely agree with you on that. Cheers,
Cheers, cheers.
coffee cheers.
Cheers,
Huh?
coffee cheers indeed. Fantastic. I travel with my own filter.
Oh, really?
The South Indian filter.
If you haven't got my interaction with him, you definitely must do on Food Lovers TV. We did two very special episodes with him. One was at Mavali Tiffin Room, where we did a traditional breakfast with some traditional coffee, and then we went on to a very interesting cafe called Maverick and Farmer, where we tasted some other coffees too. But today is going to be very different. I'm excited because I've never judged a filter coffee competition, so it's always nice to do something new, step outside your comfort zone, and I love doing that. Every time an interesting opportunity presents itself, and there are going to be fellow judges too who are going to be part of the panel, so I'm looking forward to meeting with them and tasting some good filter coffee. So needless to say, I thought I'd carry the camera along. Of course, I'm filming on my phone today, and share with you some of the happenings, the interesting happenings from this first ever filter coffee competition at the World Coffee Conference here in Bengaluru. This is my best view of the city, looking upward. Bengaluru. And of course, there's the Bengaluru Palace, which is always hidden behind all these event pavilions. We're here at the venue for the World Coffee Conference, which is at Palace Grounds, and we're just entering the competition arena.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here for the final of the first Indian filter coffee competition. So the idea was to identify and celebrate Indian filter coffee, which is very close to our tradition and culture. Shortly, I would like to introduce you to the scoring format, what we are expecting from the participants, and how we are going to score them.
The plain milk-based filter coffee. Then he has to make a signature beverage.
Okay. So there is no pure coffee as such.
So you're not tasting black ever. You're going to taste always with milk.
About color, is alright the color, right?
Yes, right. This is right in color.
The froth is always uneven.
Yeah, the little uneven, but we want the more attractive in the sense it cannot be very even because it's not the machine. We're going by tumbling, but we want the froth all over. Filter coffee is normally with sugar. It becomes caramel.
Yeah.
Okay.
This level of bitterness is desirable in filter coffee.
So let's say the first one, if I gave it a 2.5, this maybe I would give it a 2.
Perfect.
Right?
That sounds correct.
Docile and something that is more malleable, pleasant.
Yes.
A pleasant bitterness is something that I would like to say.
Flavor, the bitterness. The other was just bitter. This one is more roasted bitter, which is fine.
Yeah. Good friend, Chef Abhijit Saha. I'm always very happy to meet him.
Likewise, Kripal, always a pleasure. Proud moment for India here to be having the World Coffee Conference and the first South Indian Filter Coffee World Championship.
Abhijit Saha has always been more like a guru to me. So I've learned a lot about food and beverage from him. So today I'm going to be closely shadowing him in his coffee tasting as well.
The feeling is mutual, Kripal. We always learn from each other. You've been a person who has not been only a writer, but a person who really understands food, and you have seen so much in different levels and different kinds of cooking and food and beverage that you are now reaching almost a state of nirvana.
The other thing with Abhijit is he's not only good with his food and beverage, but he's also very good in being very kind to people and making people feel good. And I think that's why people also love you, Chef.
We are in the hospitality business.
And I love Abhijit too. Abhijit, I was looking at this coffee tasters flavor wheel.
Yes.
You remember all those wine things that we used to do? You got to look for all those flavors when you want to judge coffee, Abhijit. From olive oil here, I'm seeing strawberry there, I'm seeing coconut, the spice notes there.
Yes. There is the earthiness also which comes from the soil,
So coffee judging is serious business. Now, up tak to I had a lot of confidence now looking at this flavor wheel and hearing Abhijit's, sermon on coffee. Abhi thoda nervousness hai. I'm feeling a little nervous, but let's go out and sip on some coffee.
Excitedly nervous.
Absolutely. Let's go. Love the atmosphere at the World Coffee Conference. This I'm told is the growers area. So you've got all the coffee companies that are out here. Tribal Origins Coffee. I don't know if I'll have time after the competition to take a look. A fair bit happening all over. Low carbon coffee. Have you ever heard of low carbon coffee? I'd never heard of low carbon coffee. Coffee Board of India is the organizing body for the World Coffee Conference with the private coffee houses. Wonderful. There's a lot of coffee happening here. So there's an espresso station along with a washed blue bar. I wonder what that is. I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to actually go and figure that out. I'm just trying to soak things in. Honey sun-dried brew bar. I guess these are all the modern coffee machines. There's a fair bit happening here, and this is just one area of the World Coffee Conference, which is the growers area. So they have multiple pavilions. I saw on the other side there was a cafe pavilion, there's an exhibitors pavilion, there's talks happening, seminars happening. So there's a lot happening here at the World Coffee Conference. Well, that's a stunning looking Jeep, and it belongs to my friend Mr. Purnesh of Classic Coffee. That's a Willys 1945. I was just wondering as to what this is doing out here in a coffee conference, but I read something really interesting here. There were many farmers who didn't have a truck or a tractor, and I'm told that the Willys Overland is what they would use to help them in their agricultural work. I never thought of this Jeep with that perspective. Fantastic. Every day you learn something new. Just be open to things and you will see newness even where there is none. I will come later. Let me finish the coffee. And I just saw some very interesting art here that's made with coffee stains, coffee grounds, coffee beans. So all this is coffee that you see here. Coffee that's been bound with some sugarcane residue and then made into a paint. And these are actually coffee grounds, coffee beans that have been crushed. Very interesting. Coffee art brewing. Heart. And your name is?
Hima Bindu.
Hima Bindu. So where can people find you outside this exhibition?
In Bangalore.
In Bangalore. You have a website?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page and an Insta page.
Okay.
With the same names.
And it's called Coffee Heart.
Coffee art.
Coffee Heart Brewing.
Yeah, whenever you Google for Hima Bindu coffee painting artist, you get enough and more articles being published in different Indian languages about me.
Fantastic.
And the media coverage and all. So you can see it in different Indian languages which has been written.
Lovely. Fantastic. Great work.
Sir, do not go without meeting me. You have to write in here to sign in.
Yes. All this is coffee. All this. Even the work that you see out there. Fascinating. I came here just looking to taste some coffee, judge some coffee rather, but I'm going back with something more.
This is my Q grader badge.
Okay.
And this one's because I'm a planter.
Oh, okay.
And this one's again because I'm a cupper related to this, but I found a really pretty one that has bangles and a lady's hand with the cup.
Fantastic. So that's Chandani. You met her in an episode where we tasted some very interesting coffee, also brewed by her, and she's one of the very few Q graders
Yes.
in the country.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I'm actually the first lady planter who's a Q grader.
Really?
Yes.
Wonderful. So she has all those medals there.
And then of course my little coffee bean that goes with me everywhere.
Fantastic. Super.
Talking a bit about what we're doing today, we had our prelims happening on the 14th and 15th of September. Our 27 participants, we are right here with our 6 finalists.
Exciting. I have no words to express because so many people, so much of involvement, and jury we have got are one of the best.
So I believe that it is time for India to shine on the coffee stage with its filter coffee, and I'm wishing all the participants the very best.
Okay, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment is here. I'm sure the next judge I'm going to be calling upon, you've already seen him around and he has enough fans right here. I take all the pride and honor to welcome the man taking the food industry by a straw. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a huge round of applause for Mr. Kripal right there. Huge round of applause. Come on, put your hands together. The visionary founder of the food industry.
So that's our first contestant for the day. And that's the coffee that they will be using. Buyer's Samrat Pure Filter Coffee. So all the contestants get the same coffee and the same brewing equipment. Feels a bit odd to be on stage doing this. Huh?
Yeah, normally you would be sitting somewhere in the front down
Sitting
there.
somewhere in the front there.
Please feel relaxed. So we are here in a relaxed way. So don't worry. So make your best and relax.
To go.
The taste experience is that of cocoa, spices, and coffee bitterness.
To me, the cinnamon is a little muted. So that pumpkin and cinnamon, like a pumpkin tart.
Yes, I'm happy also that it is not very sweet. The sweetness is also well balanced.
So I think this has honey in it, right?
Yeah.
What about some of the cinnamon warmth?
Yeah. I do get the cinnamon because I believe if we increase the cinnamon further, the coffee will lose a lot of its punch.
If I compare it to all the 3 cups that we tasted before this during the calibration exercise, even the one that was considered ideal, this was leaps and shoulders above that.
Then fantastic.
Yeah.
What would you want to rate?
So I would still rate it a 4.5. Was very good in terms of the signature. The only thing I felt was, for me, that cinnamon stick inside did nothing. So he was getting the spice. I was getting more the sweetness, the honey sort of note. So I think it was a little inconsistent across the 3 pours.
Yeah.
We just finished judging the first candidate. I always enjoyed drinking a filter coffee, never thought it'd be so difficult to judge. Look at all the nuances, huh? What was your experience of judging your first ever filter coffee?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. We need to get calibrated with the Indian filter coffee, which I'm not used to.
So tell us a bit about yourself, Elena.
Well, I'm Italian. I'm actually living in Colombia. I got a coffee farm in Colombia.
Okay.
And I'm trainer, so I'm actually a taster, coffee taster, and also a trainer for the whole aspect of the coffee chain. So I'm pretty much like.
So you're the expert.
Coffee.
And then of course Sriram. Sriram was behind the scenes when we were filming the show at his cafe, Maverick and Farmer. He's our lead judge.
Yes, it's tough getting all these very interesting personalities to come together, but it's beautiful to see how they've all understood the method of scoring, and we seem to be very well calibrated. So it's fabulous to see what's happening.
Fantastic. And you've of course also been guiding us. If you can introduce yourself.
I'm Shrikant Rao. I'm director of Bias Coffee. We have brought this first filter coffee competition together. It's wonderful to have such celebrity judges here on the panel. It has been great working with them. I'm also learning, and we are setting the gold standard for filter coffee. It's really a great journey for us.
Fantastic. There's a lot happening here. So for those of you who think judging a coffee competition is just drinking coffee, no. I think that's the smallest component of it all. We're trying to understand it later. So we've got how many more coffees to go?
5 more.
So needless to say, we're going to go out there to the stage and try and make quick work of it. It's very citrusy in its aroma. It's refreshing, and I'm getting the coffee only at the very back.
Nice cold brew style coffee that he has made, and the citrusy element adds the freshness, and you're also getting coffee, but it's towards the end. But that's sometimes very typical of a cold brew or coffee that is flavored with citrus flavors.
Yeah, so even though you get it at the very end, there is good balance between the citrus. I thought somewhere the citrusiness would perhaps be a little too much.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
No.
Nimdu combination bhala interesting ittu. Lemon ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಫಿ. ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತು ಲೆಮನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಓವರ್ ಪವರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. So his signature was simple yet impactful. Nimbu or lemon is a very Indian thing, very desi thing, and you don't typically associate nimbu with coffee too much. How was the second coffee, chef?
The second coffee was reasonably okay. I think that it could have been better by competition standards. So there was some sort of disbalance.
So that's the drill. So basically we go out there, we taste the coffees, and then we come back into this judging chamber where we judge. Basically we listen to Abhijit and his discourse on food. how flavors should come together. But I'm just joking, but it's good to have a chef's perspective when you're tasting. So that's the flow. So you go out there on stage, taste the coffee, return to the green room, discuss what you tasted, and then proceed again
Yeah.
to taste the next set of
Next
coffee.
one. So the next one is coming up very soon.
What time lagega? But it's only 1:20. I thought originally I was told that you can leave by 2. But I think this is going to take longer than that.
But
a lot of hard work.
Morning tonight.
Morning
You better
tonight.
be paid.
I know. I don't mind that. It's so technical here that they even weigh the amount of decoction that's going into the cup, into the tumbler. All these are accomplished coffee masters, but I guess when you're on the stage doing this in front of an audience that's watching your every move with phones included, I guess you do feel a bit nervous. Are you tasting more coffee?
No, I don't taste coffee.
Don't taste
I
coffee.
taste something like regalis, something like eucalyptus,
Eucalyptus.
something similar, like a balsamic candy for cough. What is that? I don't understand what is that. It stays at the end. It comes up.
It may be it's coming from the almond milk, maybe. Maybe.
Dark jaggery.
So I think the execution of both the coffees were very good. Thank you so much. So I think your signature drink was very interesting. With the flowers, fresh flowers on the table, we were getting the notes also on our, in our nose as much as we were tasting the flavor in the tongue. So that's what it is in the mouth. So well done. Thank you so much. Color-wise, it is a little well.
It's little milky.
Little milky. But I think that the flavor of the coffee is very good.
Very strong, no, the pan.
Pan is overpowering everything.
You can just taste the pan in this.
Pan plus coffee. The bitterness of the two is coming together to make it super bitter.
His hot coffee was a mild extraction, and this is completely on the other end of the spectrum when it comes to the pan.
No, yours is very nice.
Very good, very well balanced.
I
And
think it's one of the best, if not the best.
I agree with you.
It lacks a bit of body, perhaps, of thickness, but I really like the finish.
In terms of the
It's
viscosity.
nutty, smooth, yeah, perhaps misses a bit of viscosity. The past one was very nice, the viscosity of the past one.
Like a simple cold coffee, that's what I'm tasting. I'm just tasting like a simple cold coffee.
Yes, me too.
It's a good cold coffee. That's
Coffee
all.
with milk.
Yeah, but there's no...
Very nice body, I mean,
Yeah.
it's thick.
Well, we just finished tasting 12 coffees. So some croissant at the end of it to wipe, to wash all that coffee flavor out. Huh? Chef, how was your experience?
It was a great experience, had a lot of fun, tasted some great coffee, and I'm sure that this was even going to get better in the future.
What about an Italian judge who has
croissant experience.
that's not saying too much. If you're talking about the croissant first.
The last thing first, so the croissant. Interesting coffees, interesting combination. So I really like the cultural point of view of the recipes. I think that was really interesting.
Fantastic.
Most exciting experience to work with such amazing people. Kripal, the chef, Elena, and then get all of us together to figure out the scores of some very interesting coffees, some average coffees, and some coffees as well. But it was really nice to see what we're doing.
Fantastic. Did you enjoy the experience?
Yeah, this was me judging it for the first time, being a shadow judge.
Wonderful. The shadow judge had a very important role to play because she was filling us in on all the details, all the things that transpired, things that we couldn't see. But this was a fun filter coffee championship. Are we announcing the winners now or later? So I've just emerged out of the venue, Palace grounds of the World Coffee Conference. The first time in Asia, and to India to be chosen, it's a great honor, and especially here in Bengaluru, which is the epicenter of coffee in this country. Great day interacting with the finalists of the Filter Coffee Championship. A lot of learning, a lot of coffee, of course, that I tasted. Over a dozen combinations from the classic to the modernist. It was nice to spend time also with the judges, deliberating on the coffees, deliberating on the styles, deliberating on the preparation methods, the tasting notes, the aromas, etc. I think initiatives like these will help propel Indian coffee to the world stage. It is my dream that someday when you go to any cafe in the world, along with the cappuccinos, the flat whites, lattes, etc., one should also find the filter coffee. And I think events like these will help further that cause. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, whatever I've been able to put together in between judging the coffee championship with my fellow judges. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do let me know what you thought of this vlog in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.